A year and a half ago, I reviewed the classic 80s flick, The Karate Kid. Now let's talk about the sequel, The Karate Kid Part 2. Big Days, Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings my fellow YouTubers and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to you as the Big D. So I'm going to bring to y'all another review of the Karate Kid franchise, The Karate Kid Part 2 from 1986. Now if you've not seen my review for the original, I strongly advise you to stop the video once you've clicked on the card that will come up. I'll give you a few seconds, okay? Okay, that should be enough. Okay, now then, the film was released by Columbia and once again directed by John G. Avildsen. Once again, Ralph Macchio and Pat Maria are back as Daniel LaRusso and his karate teacher, Mr. Miyagi. They are now heading to Okinawa in aid of Miyagi's dying father, only to encounter a group of bullies with long-harbored grudges against him. The film also includes Nobu McCarthy, Yuji Okamoto, Danny Kamakona, and introducing Tamlin Tomita as Daniel's new love interest, Kumiko. Anyway, here we go. Now this takes place shortly after the tournament in the first movie. Sensei John Kreese becomes furious when Johnny Lawrence in his defeat and attacks him in the parking lot. Miyagi confronts Kreese and passively immobilizes him. Miyagi threatens to strike a deadly blow, but instead honks Kreese's nose and walks away. Johnny and his friends abandon Cobra Kai after seeing Kreese's true colors. 6 months later, Daniel LaRusso visits Miyagi's house after recently attending a senior prom. He angrily explains that his girlfriend Ali has dumped him for a football player from UCLA, while his mother has received a business opportunity in Fresno, where he will be forced to spend his entire summer with her. Miyagi tells Daniel that he spoke to his mother and she has agreed to let Daniel stay with him. But soon he receives a letter notifying him that his father is sick. He plans to return to his home village on Okinawa Island and brings Daniel with him after he begs to come along. Miyagi explains that he fell in love with a woman named Yuki, who was arranged to marry his best friend Sato, son of the richest man in the village and fellow karate student of his father. Upon announcing his intentions to marry Yuki, Sato challenged him to a fight to the death to save his honor. Rather than fight, however, Miyagi left the country and explains to Daniel that Sato is still holding a grudge against him because there is no time limit for a man's honor. In Okinawa, Miyagi and Daniel are greeted by Chosen Toguchi, who takes them to meet Sato and reveals that he is his nephew. Sato demands to fight Miyagi, who adamantly refuses. Arriving at the village, Miyagi and Daniel are welcomed by Yuki and her niece Kumiko. They discover that Sato has become a rich industrialist whose super trawlers have destroyed the fish population, impoverishing the villagers. They are forced to rent property from Sato, who owns the village's land tile. Yuki reveals that she never married Sato because of her love for Miyagi. But after his father dies, Sato gives Miyagi 3 days to mourn out of respect before their fight. Miyagi shows Daniel the secret to his family's karate, a handheld drum that illustrates the drum technique, a block and defense karate move that Daniel begins to practice. Miyagi grieves for his father with Daniel consoling him and telling him about his own father's death. Now, sometime later, Daniel accidentally exposes corruption in Chosen's grocery business. Chosen accuses Daniel of insulting his honor and begins to harass him. After several encounters, their feud comes to a head when Chosen and his cronies attack Daniel and vandalizes Miyagi's family property. The group is quickly defeated and runs off after Miyagi arrives. And, well, he and Daniel plan to return to LA before the situation gets worse. However, Sato shows up with bulldozers and threatens to destroy the village if Miyagi refuses to fight. Forced to comply, he gives in on the condition that Sato signs the village's land tile permanently over to the villagers, regardless of the fight's outcome. Sato begrudgingly agrees after Miyagi describes the condition as a small price to pay on his honor. And I'm going to go ahead and get to the ending. You know the procedure. 5 seconds to stop. If you've seen the movie, continue on with the review. After your 5 seconds, go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below to avoid any spoilers. Here we go. Okay, you've been warned. Now, on the day of the fight, a typhoon arrives. Villagers take cover at a nearby shelter, but Sato is trapped when his family's dojo is leveled by the storm. Miyagi and Daniel rush to rescue him. After carrying Sato to safety, Daniel successfully rescues a little girl called Yuna, who had been stranded on top of a bell tower. Sato orders Chosen to help, but when he refuses, Sato rushes to assist Daniel himself. He then disowns his nephew for refusing to assist, and an enraged Chosen runs off into the storm in disgrace. The next morning, as the villagers are rebuilding, Sato returns with his bulldozers, only this time to help rebuild the village. And Sato hands over the land tile to the village and asks for Miyagi's forgiveness, which he accepts. Daniel and Kumiko approach Sato about hosting the upcoming Oban festival in a ceremonial castle, to which he agrees and invites Daniel to join in the celebration. While Kumiko is performing a dance at the festival, a vengeful Chosen zip lines into the presentation, taking Kumiko hostage and demands to fight Daniel to the death. After an intense fight, Daniel is eventually overwhelmed by Chosen. But however, Miyagi, Sato, and the crowd respond by using handheld drums they brought to the celebration, inspiring Daniel. Seemingly confused, Chosen closes in for the kill, but Daniel is able to deflect Chosen's attacks and land counterattacks using the drum technique. Daniel grabs the vanquished Chosen and threatens to end his life by saying, "Live or die, man!" Chosen chooses death, but remembering the way Miyagi handled Kreese earlier, Daniel's like, "No, wrong," and honks Chosen's nose and drops him to the ground. And Daniel embraces Kumiko while the villagers cheer him on, and Miyagi looks on proudly. End of story, my friends. Yeah. So, what did I think of The Cry Kid Part 2? I actually do like it. Almost as much as the first one, but the first one's always the best. This one's not too bad. I like the performances from the cast. I mean, with the addition of Kumiko, who I do like her just as much as like Allie from the first movie. Anyway, and Chosen is a pretty good bad guy, even though his uncle's mostly the bad guy. It's not too bad. It's pretty good. Then, of course, there's also the soundtrack to the movie, which Bill Conti composes, also features various good music, including the love theme to this movie, Glory of Love, which was done by Chicago member Pierre Cetera, which that song was originally supposed to be in the previous year's Rocky IV, but was dropped and was included on this one. It became a big hit and received an Academy Award for Best Song. I will say this was pretty good actually. It also featured Music from Carly Simon and even former Styx frontman Dennis DeYoung as well. Anyway, well, I like some of the good action, what have you, especially when Daniel gets a chance to chop through the ice blocks. Which that was a real cool scene. I really liked that. That was fun. Let's see here. Yeah, and I've gotta say the final act at the castle was really good. The dance was good until Chosen comes in. Anyway, which was really cool. The movie did pretty well. I mean, it went on to make 115 million. Yeah, 115 million overall. So anyway, it did well. Despite it got mixed reviews, there was also a video game for Atari ST and Amiga. And later that same, which came out the following year, and that same year, well, Nintendo got one as well, which was published by the infamous LJN, but was developed by Atlas. Includes several elements based on it, which only the first, which only its first level focused on the tournament from the first movie, and the rest of the game is from the second movie. Yeah. Anyway, there were three, which had three mini games. The drum technique, where you had to dodge a swinging X as many times as possible, and of course the ice breaking bit. The other one was capturing flies with the chopsticks bit. So anyway, which is okay considering it's LJN. But anyway, enough about that. The Karate Kid Part 2 I thought was not too bad. So the question is, would I recommend it? I would say, yeah, sure, go ahead. I mean, if you're a completionist, I think you should go on ahead and give this. Now, I'm not going to spoil this, but you might be seeing some familiar characters from this movie in the new season of Cobra Kai. I'm not going to tell you who. You're just going to have to watch it, and you'll probably figure it out when I do my TV log of it this Friday. So, what are your thoughts on the Karate Kid Part 2? Please tell me in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button below, subscribe to my channel as well, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of the Karate Kid Part 3. So, thank you very much for watching, and if you like this, you might want to check out some of these other heroic type flicks and what have you. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of the Netflix movie We Can Be Heroes, which serves as a standalone sequel to The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl. The upper right-hand corner is my spoiler-free review for Wonder Woman 1984. And, well, if you want more Karate Kid, and if you really want to take a chance with it, go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of what is my least favorite, but easily the most underrated film in the franchise, the next Karate Kid from 1994. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.